Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Got another impact gun, let's have a look. Okay, so just before we start having a look at this new impact gun, I just want to clear something up that I didn't end up doing a video about, which was on the previous battery gun that I reviewed and had a fault, and that was the Wolf 18 volt gun. I'll post come up there. I'll post a link to that video for those who haven't seen it. So after I put that video up, I contacted the company who made that gun and said, look, you might want to have a look at this gun, because you said to me that when I sent it back to you there was no fault found. There clearly is. It happened during the time that I made that particular video, so you can have a look at it here. They had a look, they said, yep, fair enough, yeah, send the gun back to us. You're covered by, I think it was a 2-year warranty, and we'll find out what happened with the gun, get it repaired and get it sent back to you. And I said, yep, okay, that's great, but if you could also let me know what's happened with the gun, because I'm sure the people who may be interested in buying it will possibly want to know what you found that was wrong with the gun and what you've done to put it right. So packaged the gun up, sent it back, and literally they must have got it in the palm of their hand before I got an immediate refund, and then they just said, yep, we've refunded your money, thank you very much, bye, and that was the end of it. So I shan't go into the whys and wherefores of the communication I had with that company about sort of pretty much what the hell. I didn't ask for a refund, I wanted a working gun. So make of that what you will and decide whether you want to buy their products or not. That's up to you. So let's have a look at this gun. This gun my wife very kindly bought me for Christmas. It is a mains, it's an electric mains powered gun. It's 1000 watt. It's made by a company called Moss. Now when you have a look at this gun, the same gun is pretty much sold by Machine Mark, which is they sell the Clark brand, only the casing is identical, apart from the fact it's like an orangey red colour. And there's various other companies selling this gun when you look at the design of it. So I think this gun's probably a Chinese manufactured gun that's being sold under multiple brands. So on that basis, what I would suggest is have a think about who you're going to buy it from and how much they're selling it for, because I think this gun was around £50, which frankly is ridiculous, ridiculously cheap, but we'll see how it works, because if it doesn't work particularly well, then that's not going to it doesn't make out, make any difference how much it costs. If it's useless, it's useless. But obviously people who are selling, I know Clark sell this gun for a lot more than that amount of money. It comes with sockets and things to get you going, so let's have a look. Okay, so it comes in a blow moulded case. You've got metal clasps there. You could padlock it or cable tie it shut there if you want to. That's a fairly sturdy case, metal pinned hinge there. Let's get it open. So what do we get? We get manual. You get 4 sockets, which I imagine are probably a 22, 21, yeah, 21, 19, yep, 19 and 17. So you get the sockets to get you going, and then there's the gun itself. Now make no mistake, this thing is a lump. That is a good heft of gun there. So the anvils in there are going to be quite a size. It's 1000 watt, it's rated at 450 Newton meters, and apparently spins up at 2200 RPM. Now you've got, trigger is pretty basic, there's no sort of feathering as far as I'm aware, it's on or off. You've got forward and reverse. There's a 1/2 inch chuck. You've got a sort of rubber plastic bumper there for the nose. That's just sort of pushed on. We've got a warning on here: when changing from forward to reverse, always ensure it's fully stopped. Oh yeah, that's not going to do the gearbox a lot of good. Oh, and we also got, this is brushed, so but they also give you a spare set of brushes, which is nice. So that gives you a bit of life if you eventually wear these out. Now, to be perfectly honest, from my point of view, an impact gun isn't something that I use an awful lot, but when I do use an impact gun, it you know, massively speeds up the job. And certainly if you're getting off you know, some stubborn you know, decent sized nuts, bolts and whatnots, then I think this is definitely going to do the job. So let's just have a little quick look here. Wonder if it tells you how much this weighs. It's got to be a few kilos. 3.9 kilos, so it's nearly 4 kilos. What I do like about it is the manual is actually quite good. It's not your sort of Chinesium, if you like, style of manual. It tells you about cleaning, maintenance. It gives you instructions about how to change the brushes for the motor, which is good. You've also got a spare parts list, so you can get spare parts for it. You're quoting the model is CEW1000. Although here it says IMW1000, so I don't know if that differs. That number differs between different manufacturers, or not the manufacturers, but different retailers, which I think is for the same gun. This, as I say, the Clark one is essentially, that's orange. That's the only difference there, really. You got a spare, you know, exploded diagram and things. So the manual actually is quite good. It's a lot better than I've seen from, you know, certainly that Wolf gun. That wasn't particularly fabulous from a manual point of view. Cable wise, you get I reckon that's probably about 1.5 meters. For those who desperately want to know, we'll get the tape measure out. We'll measure how long this cable is. Okay, so the cable's approximately 1.80 meters or 6 foot, so it's not bad, but you're going to be using an extension lead. Now, the reason I went for power, you know, when I say power, I mean mains power. First off, I have a main socket at the front of my house, so it's easily accessible for me for where I do the work on my cars. And obviously in the workshop I've got power everywhere, so that's not a problem. I think in reality, if I was going to be buying a battery impact gun now, I'm going to be looking at something like the Milwaukee M12, which in the UK for the kit, because you're going to want a couple of batteries at least. That's retailing at somewhere in the region of £300 to £400, and frankly, for the amount I would use it, it doesn't really warrant me spending that sort of money on that sort of product. It'd be lovely to have, don't get me wrong, but in terms of never having to charge, always on, and I think will provide me with some heft, I think this will do the job. So let's get it plugged in. Okay, so forward. Not braked, so you're gonna. It's not braked, so you're gonna have to wait for it to slow. And then you've got reverse as well, and there's certainly some torque in that motor. So what I'm going to do is similar to what I did with the Wolf battery gun, is I'm going to set up a little test rig here and torque up some bolts to see how this takes them off. I can't do an outside test today because it is raining, and I'm not really a fan of using power tools in the rain, bit dodgy. So let's set up a test rig and let's see if it can undo sort of reasonably high torque bolts. So I'll set that up and then we'll come back. So we've got a nylock nut, 100 Newton meters. Okay, here we go. Yep, no problem. Took that straight off. That's a bit hot. That is hot.
Okay, so my little test rig, I couldn't get over 100 newton meters on it, so it's the next day. It's not raining now, so I'm just going to have a quick real weld test of getting 2 lug nuts off with the gun. So just to show you what it's like, because essentially this is probably what we're going to be using it for. Okay then, so to finish up, would I recommend this? Yes, I absolutely would. It whizzed off the lug nuts on the wheels there in the blink of an eye, no problem at all. I have seen these take hub nuts off in seconds as well, so it's certainly not underpowered in any shape or form. So cons, it is quite heavy. It's not going to be a problem for me, but some people might find that a problem. It's not going to be for your sort of professional people. It's definitely aimed at the DIYer, but for those of us who have use for this sort of thing, you know, it's definitely going to fulfill your needs. If anybody who manufactures this gun ever does see this video, one thing I would say is the trigger does need to be variable. It's either full on or nothing, and I would also get rid of the fact it's the reverse and forward and reverse are in one trigger. I'd prefer to see a switch that separates that. But other than that, very pleased, excellent value for money. I'll put a link to it in the description of the video. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.